What's up, guys? It's the final pay-per-view event for the year. It's been a cracker, it's been an interesting time. COVID, waves, up and down, Fight Island, back and forth. I suppose we can say vaccine mandates on their way. Interesting times. The UFC has kept us going, they've kept us positive, they've kept us with things to look forward to. And this is the final event. I think it's a super fitting main event. Dustin Poirier versus Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira. A great fight, super intriguing fight. These are my thoughts on what I'm expecting to see and how I expect it to go. I'm going to give you some picks. I'm going to look at some numbers, the usual kind of stuff for the last pay-per-view event for the year. And then we're all going to be a little bit lost as MMA takes a bit of a hiatus until the new year. First off, Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. I don't think anybody can call this. Everyone's going to have their personal favorite. Stylistically, I think it's a great fight. I think it's two guys with massive finishing abilities that really look for the finish. Obviously, Charles Oliveira, we know, is a submission specialist. Dustin Poirier is just a winning specialist, is the way I want to put it. He knows how to win. He's never fearful of opponents or worried about what they do. He's so high in confidence in his own ability that he just keeps finding a way to win. You know, back-to-back wins over Conor McGregor recently. Obviously, Khabib being the one factor there, the one loss in recent times. But I mean, it's Khabib. What can we do? Dustin Poirier physically, I think, is what will make the difference for me. Obviously, Charles Oliveira, we know, has got slick submissions and a really good killer instinct. His hands technically have become just ridiculously tremendous over the last few years, and confident as well. He's super confident in his ability. The one difference I see between the two is confidence in their, not in their ability, but I think Dustin Poirier thrives on fights going the distance and being dirty and being grinding. Fights you have to grind out, you know. I think Charles Oliveira, that dirty style fight doesn't really suit him. I think we've seen him mentally be a little bit, I don't want to say broken, but he's definitely become a little bit despondent in fights like that before. He doesn't do as well being dragged into those deep waters where Dustin Poirier thrives. So I think I think the best way for Charles Oliveira to win this fight is to do it early, first couple of rounds, and probably via submission. I don't know if he's going to have the kind of power to knock Dustin Poirier out. It's not easy. He's a big man. He has this big wide back, and I think that physicality might just be the difference. I'm intrigued to see whether Dustin Poirier throws in a couple of takedowns of his own, a bit of cage work, you know, kind of put his size onto Charles Oliveira and see how that works out for him from there. It'll be interesting to see how they approach these fights stylistically. I think both guys are super confident in their hands. I think Dustin Poirier might have a power advantage. I can't say. We're going to have to see how that all goes. Obviously, being a southpaw, that's a little bit different. Charles Oliveira has a pretty good body kick with that open side southpaw. I think Dustin will have to be pretty wary of that, and obviously the submissions, but we'll see how it all plays out. It's such an exciting matchup. I think stylistically it's so interesting. It's hard to choose a winner, and it's hard to pick a difference between the two. But let's take a look at some of the numbers. Obviously, starting with Charles Oliveira, we can see there 19 subs. I think it's the most in UFC history with a 90% finish rate. Why I put the takedown accuracy there is how that all unfolds. Will he be able to find a takedown against someone like Dustin Poirier with a 44% takedown accuracy through his UFC career? His strikes landed per minute at 3.26, 11th performance of the night, 17, that's the most finishes in UFC history, and 14 the most submissions in UFC history. That's obviously in the lightweight division, but 14 subs is the UFC record. 19 subs as a professional. He is undoubtedly a highlight reel, a performance winner. bonus after bonus. I think he has the most bonuses in UFC history. Nobody else has more. So some interesting numbers there for Charles Oliveira. If you look at Dustin Poirier, a good mix, 14 KOs, 7 submissions. Obviously, Dustin Poirier is actually still listed as a jiu-jitsu fighter. He is a legitimate black belt. He's got a 75% finish rate. This is the big difference here in the strikes. Obviously, the volume of Dustin Poirier, 5.62 strikes landed per minute, and a good 61% takedown defense versus Charles Oliveira, 44% takedown accuracy. That's why I put those there to see how those kind of play out. 7 fights of the night, 4 performances of the night, and 8 KOs in the lightweight history. That's the most KO stoppages in lightweight history. So obviously both guys full of accolades in their division, full of highlight reels and bonuses and experience, and both kind of guys who had ups and downs. They both came from featherweight and found success at lightweight. 2 very similar stories and 2 great styles, 2 great champions, 2 great fighters, high-end stylistic fighters. I'm super excited about this. I think it's going to be a great main event. There's some great fights on that card, obviously. We have to talk about co-main event, Amanda Nunes. For me, Juliana Pena, we're still looking to see who will be the greatest challenge for Amanda Nunes. I just don't think Juliana Pena is it. I think she's going to get in there and realize that pretty soon. Amanda Nunes is a nightmare to deal with. I think she's just too strong, she's too technical, she's too confident. She has too many ways to win that fight, and I think she's going to just steamroll it. So these are my picks. I'm going to throw them up. Obviously, as we know, when it comes to picks, it's not the easiest thing, but I'm going to try and give my reasoning and tell you what I've gone with. Dustin Poirier by decision. I think it's 2 guys that are going to stalemate each other, and Dustin's going to have a little bit of extra oomph that'll get him through. Amanda Nunes by KO. Like I said, I just don't think Juliana Pena is the answer for Amanda Nunes. Ponzinibbio, that's a great fight. I've gone with Ponzinibbio also by decision. I think it's going to be a super tough fight. Cody Garbrandt moving down to flyweight against Kai Kara France, which is also a great matchup. I think Cody, if he can carry that power down to flyweight, I think he's going to get a TKO stoppage there if that translates. And Sean O'Malley also against a guy who's really probably a flyweight at best, coming up. It'll be interesting to see how O'Malley deals with the pressure now. Everybody's on him, and I've picked him by TKO. Sorry about the noise. It is a big storm here in Joburg again. Those parlay odds will give you 11-2 with those main card picks. It's obviously just the picks for winners. It's not the method. I just like to throw in the methods to see how right I can get. Tough picks there, but hopefully I will get some right. Sometimes you get a lot right, sometimes you don't. Just to look at the broadcast times, it's going to be a very early start Sunday, 1:15 for the prelims, 3 a.m. for the prelims. 1:15 for the early prelims. 3 a.m. for the prelims, and 5 a.m. main card, which is not too bad. Enjoy the fights, have a good time, stay safe out there, folks. We'll chat to you soon. As always, if you've got anything you want me to talk about, anything you want to add, drop it in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And enjoy the fights. Peace.